Everybody, Chaz here. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you 5 tips on how to speed up your old Android device that still work in 2021 that can give you a usable experience and can make apps load faster for you and make the device an overall smoother experience to use. Now, there are numerous reasons why you may still be using an old Android device right now in 2021. It could be possible this is your backup phone in case your main phone gets lost or stolen, or for example, if you break the screen, you may need to send it away to be repaired. Or you may perhaps want to be using it as a music player, similar to like the iPod Touch. Or you want to use it to watch videos. This is particularly the case on older tablets. I still find a lot of people using their older devices, like a video player to watch. Or perhaps you may still be using your older Android phone. Perhaps it's an old flagship like the Galaxy S3 I've got here. Perhaps you were still using this old Android phone as your main phone in 2021, but I'm not really going to get into the reasons why you may be using the old Android device, just going to get into today's video. The first way to speed up your old Android device is by lowering the Windows animation, but before we can get and do that, we'll first have to enable developer options. So let's go into settings and now find wherever it says about your device and then scroll down until it says build number. So tap on this 5 times. Of course, for me it says developer mode has already been enabled. I've already enabled it on this phone. And it may prompt you for your passcode. This is just totally normal. Just go ahead and enter this and then just go back and you will get a new option in your settings, developer options. So just go and click on this and then scroll down until you find stuff about animation scales. So you need to tap on this. We usually say 1 time. So if you change it to 0.5 times, it will actually be a lot more smoother. Things will actually load a lot more quicker. I've found when doing this on older Android devices, it's in general made the device more responsive and smooth. So that is the first method to make your Android device faster. The second way to make your Android device faster is by disabling unused apps, and this is particularly the case on Samsung devices, which older Samsung devices, particularly like older ones with the TouchWiz user interface like the Galaxy S3, came with a lot of bloat, so this will slow the device down. So what you want to do is you want to disable all this bloat. So by doing this, you need to go into your settings and click on Application Manager and then go to all. It will usually show you downloaded first, then scroll down and find the apps you want to disable. In my case, I'm just going to go ahead and disable Google Plus since that doesn't even work anymore and I don't need to use it. So go into here and then go ahead and click on disable. And it is possible if you've installed updates to the app, you'll first be prompted to uninstall all the updates you've installed, in which case just click yes. But this can actually make your device faster since apps that you don't need won't be running in the background anymore. So especially if you have a Samsung device or another device with a lot of bloat on, I can strongly recommend you go ahead and disable any apps you don't need to use because it will definitely make your device faster. The third way to speed up your old Android device is by limiting the background processor. So this does limit the number of apps that can run in the background, which means your device will become faster. And I wouldn't recommend you try to use an old device for like multitasking and stuff, since many of the apps were built with newer devices in mind. So for this, of course, you will need to have developer options enabled, as I showed you how to enable in the first way to speed up your old device. You need to scroll down until you find limit background processors. It will usually say standard limit. You need to change this to at most 4 processors. You can choose one of these. You can change it to at most 4 processors, but if you want, you may find that 3 or 2 processors works best for you. If you're on a really old Android phone, you may want to stick to 1 or 2. So this will terminate apps in the background that you haven't used recently. So we'll put the processes you've used most recently first. So it will restrict the number of apps that can run in the background. And while this is annoying, if you want to multitask, I doubt multitasking runs all that smoothly on an older Android device anyways. This will make your device faster since it will limit the number of apps that can run in the background, which won't use up your RAM and CPU. So this is definitely a measure I recommend turning on, as it will certainly make your device faster. The great thing about older Android devices is that most of them have a micro SD card slot, which allows you to expand your storage using a micro SD card. So the fourth way to speed up your old Android device is by inserting a micro SD card. Using this, you can store photos, apps, videos, and a lot more stuff on them. And as someone who's had a lot of experience, I've used a lot of Android devices before, I can certainly tell you that when your storage starts to get full, your device definitely slows down a lot. So inserting a micro SD card and moving stuff to that can certainly help speed up your device. And it can also help, so if your device ended up breaking down, or you end up wanting to move to a new device, or you just want to access all your photos, you can just get the SD card and put it into your computer, which is pretty cool. So that's the fourth method on how to speed up your Android device. And it's a real shame Samsung and other phone brands had to get rid of this, actually, because I certainly like the fact that you can insert a micro SD card on Android device. And what really annoys me is that Samsung actually mocked Apple once for not including micro SD card slots on their devices, and then they ended up getting rid of it themselves. That's the same with the headphone jack, actually. So it's very upsetting that Samsung and other Android phone brands ended up getting rid of the micro SD card slot, because I think it was a very good thing to be able to expand your storage with this micro SD card. The fifth and final method on how to speed up your older Android device is by replacing the battery. And I have heard this has actually improved things for some users, particularly because a few years ago there was actually a lawsuit against Samsung about them slowing down their devices. And it did end up being the case that phone companies, including Apple and Samsung, had slowed down their devices. But the claimed reason they did this was actually to help preserve battery life. The idea was that when the battery got too old, the CPU would use up more power and cause the entire phone to crash unexpectedly. But if you replace the battery, it is very possible that your phone could become faster. I've heard this has worked for some users on Android and iOS older devices. It turned out that their CPU had been throttled by their operating system because they had an unexpected crash or shutdown, and then replacing the battery fixed that all and completely got rid of the slow speed problem. So this is particularly good if you suddenly began experiencing slow speeds that you had never experienced before. Maybe after your battery had run out, perhaps you had turned it back on and it had begun a lot slower. So this could very much be the case. So if your device has a draining battery a lot, particularly if the battery is very bad on it, then it could very be possible that these throttling measures have been enabled, and you should probably take action soon to replace your battery. If you want to turn them off, there are ways to turn them off without replacing the battery, but they probably aren't very effective, since they'll automatically be turned back on again whenever the next unexpected shutdown begins, whenever the next crash happens on your device. But replacing the battery, I've never actually had an experience of doing that. I'm not sure whether if it works for me, but I have heard some users have experienced greatly improved performance by replacing the batteries on their older devices. I do hope this helped some of you with speeding up your older Android devices, and there is still a lot of capability, and there's a lot of things these old devices can still do even in the current year of 2021. If you enjoyed this video and if it helped you out, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to be notified each time I upload a video. Anyways, have a good day. See you next time, and goodbye.